WrestleMania 35 just wrapped up, so you know what that means, right? Yep, it's time to do what the internet wrestling community loves to do best, analysing the show for its mishaps and mistakes. So join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 13 WrestleMania 35 blunders. Number 1. Murphy opens up. In the inaugural match for this year's edition of the Showcase of the Immortals, Cruiserweight Tournament finalist Tony Nese would get his opportunity to grab the gold against reigning champion Buddy Murphy. However, within moments of the match beginning, the referee was forced to bring out some protective rubber gloves, as a huge gash could be seen in the corner of Murphy's eye. The cut looked so bad that we began to wonder whether he was auditioning as the third Ascension member. Luckily, it was cleared up within a matter of minutes. Number 2. Braun misses his cue. Following the shocking victory for the team of Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, which halted Hawkins' tally of losses to 269, the kickoff show continued with its annually pointless male and female battle royals. The female battle royal failed to stop the downfall of former SmackDown Live Women's Champion Asuka, with Carmella surprisingly emerging victorious. The match was nothing special, but still an enjoyable and unpredictable battle royal. The men's in comparison was, well, quite embarrassing, and mostly centered around its celebrity participants of Michael Shea and Colin Jost. But in one particular moment during the Battle Royal that could have been a nice spot was the elimination of both Ali and the returning Luke Harper. During the bout, Harper would lift Ali in an attempt to eliminate him, before later being kicked in by the monster among men. Things however didn't exactly go to plan, as on their first attempt, Braun was too occupied with other superstars giving them a beatdown instead of tending to the pair on the apron. His inability to interfere at the right time caused Harper to awkwardly hold up Ali in the air for a solid 20 seconds. Even worse, a scary moment happened when Ali was eliminated, as he managed to hit his head on the corner side of the announcer's table. Not to worry though, as following the incident, Ali took to Twitter to update us saying, "Alive. #WrestleMania." Number 3. Andrade's accidental elimination. In addition to Braun's miscue, former NXT champion Andrade tried to eliminate Apollo Crews with a head scissors takedown from the apron, but also managed to eliminate himself. Whilst it didn't look like an obvious mishap, Andrade wasn't supposed to eliminate himself, and in actual fact he was supposed to be amongst some of the final handful of participants. Wrestling Insider Slice Wrestling reported, there was a botch in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, as Andrade Almas was not supposed to eliminate himself in that match. He originally was supposed to last longer until Braun eliminated him. Vince will want to discuss this with Andrade. Number 4. Hogan forgets where he is. Again. You might have to go back a few years, but during WrestleMania 30, host Hulk Hogan would announce to 75,000 fans that they were sitting in the wrong stadium, accidentally renaming the Mercedes-Benz Superdome the Silver Dome, obviously reminiscent of his time at WrestleMania 3. Well, 5 years later, things haven't changed. This year's host Alexa Bliss told the crowd she could make a WrestleMania moment just like that, and was joined by the Hulkster. The Immortal One then gave us his usual rendition of "What You Gonna Do?" before dropping another trope, forgetting that he was in a stadium. This year, he went on to call the MetLife Stadium the MetLife Center. It's a minor mistake, but we would have thought he had learned his lesson the first time. It's not like the stadium name was written anywhere in front of him anyway. Number 5. Turn the lights off. The much anticipated bout between the Viper and the Phenomenal One was a solid match, one that featured a number of great spots and entertaining for the most part. Well, viewers at home didn't have any trouble watching the match, but frustratingly those in attendance simply couldn't see anything, as those in charge of lighting the stadium thought it would be a good idea to attempt to blind over 80,000 plus wrestling fans with their high beam spotlights. Following the entrances, they left the lights on for around 3/4 of the match, meaning those in the stands couldn't see a damn thing. Aggravated fans took to Twitter to show their thoughts, leading to WWE eventually dimming the lights, which was greeted with one of the biggest pops of the night. However, the production team failed again, blinding the crowd once again during one of the best spots of the night. During the Falls Count Anywhere bout between Miz and Shane McMahon, they climbed the steel apparatus, with The Miz hitting a superplex off the top. Unluckily, half the audience might have missed that. Number 6. The Miz's actual skull-crushing finale. The personal feud between The Miz and Shane McMahon started off with a vicious beatdown on not only The Miz, but George Mizanin as well. Having Shane take control early on though may not have been the best idea, as after a couple of strikes to the head, The Miz was busted open with a huge gash on the back of his head. Scenes of The Miz on the announce table busted open reminded us that it was still less severe than the SummerSlam 2016 incident involving Randy Orton. Nevertheless, it still didn't look pretty, and referee Charles Robinson followed procedure and brought out the rubber gloves. Number 7. WWE spoils KOFIMANIA. In probably the most exciting build-up to WrestleMania since Daniel Bryan's WrestleMania 30 journey, and with the incredible support of the WWE Universe and defying all the odds, Kofi would finally be on his way to WrestleMania to fight for Daniel Bryan's championship. Surprisingly though, the Universal Championship match wouldn't be the only one to take place early on the card, as midway through the show, Kingston would get his long-awaited moment on the grandest stage of them all. However, WWE decided to have the returning WWE Championship belt at ringside before the number 1 contender would even face off with Daniel Bryan. From this alone, the majority of the WWE Universe could easily predict just who was coming out as champion. Not only could they have potentially given away the result that way, they would do it in another, be it more unorthodox, via its WWE shop website. During the match celebration, Big E would reveal what was in the box he had been holding for the past 20 minutes, that being the new Kofi Kingston merchandise with a WWE Championship design. But 2 hours beforehand, the WWE search feature would show the listing of a t-shirt under the product name The New Day There's a New Champ t-shirt. Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet would tweet, WWE Championship spoiler. Warning, for real. WWE accidentally spoiled the end of this match with a shirt they posted on their shop search feature. Number 8. Botchtista. One of the most exciting feuds with a lengthy build-up heading into WrestleMania this year was the long-awaited rematch between the cerebral assassin Triple H and the Animal Batista. Whilst most of the entrances were standard, this match's entrances were standout. Not only would H grace us with his presence by hopping on a hot rod straight out of a Mad Max film, Batista would enter via a convoy of SUVs. While he looked psyched up for the match, slamming the door of the SUV shut, he may have gotten a little too excited or perhaps shown a few nerves, as he managed to trip over the ropes, stumbling into the ring. He actually attempted his entrance again, this time managing to enter the ring flawlessly. Number 9. Main event announcement mishap. In a monumental moment for WrestleMania and female wrestling history, this year saw the first ever women's main event in a winner-takes-all match. Finishing things off on the show, Charlotte Flair would make an incredible entrance, slowly descending in a helicopter before walking down the red carpet, emulating her father's entrance at 1986's Great American Bash event. During her entrance, things were being set up in the stadium as Joan Jett were prepared to perform a live version of Ronda Rousey's entrance theme song. However, SmackDown Live ring announcer Greg Hamilton would completely mess things up, announcing that Charlotte would be now entering the ring before his microphone was quickly faded out. Within an instant, he quickly changed his mind and introduced Joan Jett to the WWE Universe. It was again a minor mishap and something that the WWE could quickly edit out on their WWE network. Number 10. We Can Hear You. Unfortunately, the main event mistakes didn't stop there. As you may or may have not been aware, during each main event, the crowd was getting increasingly tired. But the WWE still wanted to create a feel of the match that you were watching is must-see and make it feel dramatic. In order to accomplish this, they amped up the ring volume. Just like at WrestleMania 31 when Seth Rollins would cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase and pin Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, those listening closely are able to hear the conversations between wrestlers, with Rollins telling Reigns, "Thank you so much." Tonight's main event was no different, as throughout the match you could clearly hear the trio plan their next moves. Number 11. Charlotte's cut. In yet another case of cuts and blood, Charlotte Flair could visibly be seen sporting a dripping elbow. While it's unknown just what caused it, the referee would do the standard routine of putting on the rubber gloves, as Charlotte just ignored the pain. Number 12. Ronda Rousey's ghostly selling. While this match was expected to be action-packed and mostly chaotic, Charlotte kept her trend of using arguably one of the worst finishers in professional wrestling today, that being her natural selection move. On this occasion, she intended to go double or nothing, delivering the maneuver to both Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch simultaneously, but in doing so, she completely missed Rousey, leaving Ronda to just push herself onto the mat as if she had been attacked by a ghost. And number 13, a failure of a finish. While we did get the end result that the entire wrestling world was hoping for, that being Becky Lynch capturing both the SmackDown and Raw Women's Championships, fans were disappointed in just how anticlimactic the finish was. Many had envisioned Becky having to capture the gold by locking her disarm her finishing submission, but WWE had other plans in mind. During the final moments, Lynch would reverse the Piper's Pit and turn it into a backslide pinfall, where she would gain the win. Some eagle-eyed viewers managed to catch Ronda's shoulders were off the mat during the third count, but the referee kept on counting. Rousey was said to be annoyed about this, as wrestling journalist Brad Shepard reported, according to a source in WWE, the ending to the WrestleMania main event was not the planned finish. The end was a botch, and the referee, thinking Ronda's shoulders were down, counted to 3. Ronda was not happy. Even the commentary team noticed it, but it was still allowed. Maybe Ronda might bring this up tomorrow night on Raw. Did you guys spot all these mistakes? Were there any we missed out? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.